You come home from work as the daylight begins to fade. The commute behind you with its familiar stops and starts along the route shared with others heading in the same direction. The apartment feels neutral upon entry, the air still from the hours away, keys placed on the counter next to yesterday's mail. The refrigerator opens to reveal the usual contents: leftover rice in a container, eggs, a few vegetables that have kept well enough. Preparing anything would involve time at the stove after the desk hours and meetings that filled the day, so the phone emerges from the pocket almost without decision. Delivery apps load, and a promotional banner highlights a discount for orders placed now, bringing a selected item down to around $16, including delivery and tip. Choices appear on screen, images of prepared meals that require no further effort. One option standing out is balanced yet satisfying after the day's pace. Confirmation happens with a tap, the card already saved from prior uses processing the charge. While the estimated arrival time displays, the statement from earlier in the week surfaces in memory, the balance listed at $3,650 carried from the cycle before. The annual percentage rate sits at 19.9%, translating to interest that accrues steadily, and the minimum payment required this month reaches $110 alongside the rent and utilities that leave the paycheck allocated in its usual portions. These deliveries occur perhaps 3 or 4 times within a typical month, each landing between $15 and $20 after any discounts applied. Extending that pattern across the year produces a total near $900 from this source alone. Layered onto the revolving balance, the interest portion attributable to such additions might contribute another $150 to $200 annually, the compounding occurring monthly on whatever remains unpaid after the minimum covers only part of the principal. The observation arrives without emphasis, simply noting how the convenience of the moment extends the duration required to bring the overall number down, even while the routine of regular earnings and covered bills creates the impression of holding steady without notable advancement. The assumption that these instances remain isolated and without lasting impact begins to sit alongside the reality of the accumulation, the figures revealing a gradual contradiction to the sense that finances maintain their baseline without erosion. The delivery arrives at the door shortly after, the bag handed over with its contained warmth, no cleanup needed afterward, the meal consumed in the quiet space. This sequence brings its own interval of ease, the satisfaction of readiness without preparation, shifting attention away from the recurring statement and the portion of each paycheck directed toward the interest rather than reduction. It functions as a contained comfort, allowing the present to occupy focus while the longer obligation recedes temporarily into the background. The same promotional offer registers with a different texture for those whose accounts show minimal or no carried balances. The banner might lead to a brief check of the refrigerator contents again, perhaps combining items already present into a simpler version of the meal, or setting the idea aside until the next planned grocery visit resolves the need without added cost. There exists room to let the timing unfold naturally, comparing alternatives over the course of the evening or deferring until prices adjust or the immediate sense passes, the absence of pending minimums creating space where waiting does not register as a burden. The decision unfolds at its own pace, uncolored by the pull of existing obligations. The presence of the debt recalibrates the internal measure of time in these ordinary settings, rendering the interval to any delayed resolution longer in perception and the immediate path more aligned with the moment's demands. The pattern integrates into evenings like this one without drawing particular attention, influencing the shape of small choices across similar routines in ways that remain part of the steady flow rather than standing apart. Observing these patterns in one's own habits could provide a new lens on daily routines.